not be fat. Do they have a picture of him? He better be thin as a stick. Episode 26. Book of Mormon Tour Report. Mike and Nancy James interview each other. Okay. November 17th. This episode has been fixed. It now plays all the way through, so enjoy. Yeah, we can't hear it. In this special double interview, Mike interviews Nancy and vice versa. They discuss Book of Mormon evidence, their recent tour with Rod Meldrum to church history sites and Native American mounds and museums, and weird controversy about ancient geography. They also discuss Mike Stroud's decision to pull his podcasts, a few interesting close encounters with apostles, and how they were called to create Preparing a People. This would have been a good episode to listen to. Episode 27, A Real Thor, Part 1. Speaker at the Arizona Preparing a People conference. So the conference has happened. It's December the 8th. Their second conference has happened. Thor Furthuth is a true modern-day warrior of light. His father was a principal at a school on the Chippewa Indian Reservation in Minnesota growing up, and so he came to know many native ways. But he also sank into drinking more and more until he decided to take his own life. Then something miraculous happened, which will be covered in his main talk at our Preparing a People Arizona conference, to be released within these next few days. Enjoy this gentle giant of a man. You may contact Thor. They left his email. Episode 28. Return of Thor the Jedi, Modern Day Warrior of Light, December 18th. Okay, this episode was just fixed, so listen again if you missed it. Nancy James continues her interview with Thor Furthuth and discusses some of his spiritual gifts and how he is healing and helping people prepare for the tribulations that are on our doorsteps. He also discusses the three voices we all hear and how to tell which is which. We all hear three voices? Episode 29, Royal Roundtable Arizona Group Testimonies. Royal Roundtable. This was December 21st. The day after the Preparing a People conference, November the 18th in Mesa, Arizona, Nancy opened the mic. She opened the mic to several key volunteers to share their insights about the previous 3 days together. They were immensely helpful to bring the conference together. Included Kevin Campbell, who traveled from Idaho, Janalee Fish, Melanie Gibb, and Emmeline Peterson, 14 years old, whose mother was attending to our MC Keith Leavitt, who had been in so much pain that day. We appreciate all who contributed to this gratifying experience. Wait a minute. Contact info. Melanie Gibb for those who want to come to her group in Gilbert, Arizona. Staying out of the box at yahoo.com. Janalee Fish. And then their website for American Family Education. All right. Why is Melanie's email Staying Out of the Box? Is that the name of her group? We'll have to look and see. In episode 30. David Warwick with Sean Littlebear, Visions of Sugar Plums. Okay. "'Twas the week before Christmas, and David Warwick and Sean Littlebear joined Mike and Nancy James as guests on Preparing a People podcast. They discussed past visions of current headlines about Donald Trump, North Korea, and discuss a brand new dream by David that you get to interpret yourself. Upon my house arose such a clatter." Okay. Episode 31, Backyard Reflections of Little Miss Sunshine, Melanie Gibb. There was a jump from December to February. So January, they took off. They came back February. We are, oh wait, let me click on it because it won't show the whole description. We are excited to present to you our new Arizona branch representative for Preparing a People, Melanie Gibb. She has been such a force for good as a hub friend to everyone who knows her. She hosts classes every Friday in Gilbert, Arizona, to bless people in their journey with temporal and spiritual tools and to enjoy each other's association. We hope you enjoy Melanie's Southern hospitality and accent and frank manner, sharing what a critical lessons changed her life because of the Savior's personal love and atonement. For more information about her classes, email her at stayingoutofthebox@yahoo.com. Now, it appears that Melanie was involved in this a lot more than she likes to admit. Oh, here's a list of her upcoming classes in 2018. She will have guest speaker Jason Mao. TheWarChapters.com. What? March the 9th, Preparing a People Conference in Rexburg, Idaho. Thor First, Seth, and Jason Mao will be guest speakers. Is this for her or is this for Melanie or for Nancy? On March 16th, Sheepdog Campout. You are welcome to come in Heber, Arizona. On the 23rd, guest speakers, Dean Sessions, theuniversalmodel.com. So there's a lot of little websites and links and emails. There's a lot of connections going on in this group of people. Episode 32, Michael and Nancy James Have a Million Dreams. This was February 17th, 2018. Michael and Nancy James catch folks up on their most recent trip filming tour of Rod Meldrum and his firm Foundation's circus of speaker stars in Arizona, Nevada, and Utah. They also discuss their new Dreams and Visions class they just recorded and new focus for 2018. They also discuss their upcoming Rexburg, Idaho conference, March the 9th and the 10th. Rexburg, this is the third conference. I think this is their third conference by now. Does anybody know which conference it was that Lori and Chad actually met each other? Let me know. You could use this discount code for $5 off. I wonder how much the tickets are if they're giving you $5 off. I wanted to research this later, so I'm going to leave it up. Episode 33, February 21st, A Conversation with Joshua, Part 1. It would be a lot faster if I didn't have to scroll past a mile-long picture. A popular LDS online forum published a series of posts under the title, A Personal Story by Joshua. Joshua has asked to remain anonymous, but was willing to answer questions that several forum members had. This podcast series, entitled A conversation with Joshua was agreed to by Michael and Nancy James with the complete promise his identity will remain unknown and his voice altered. We believe the testimony of Joshua and his experience to be true. However, we ask that you not attempt to ask us his identity, as we have agreed not to discuss it with anyone, so please respect that promise. The forum states this was sent to me by an AVAL member who wishes to remain anonymous because he wants this to be about the message and not about him. This is a person I know well and have spent many hours with, both on the phone and in person. I trust him completely and have felt a confirmation that this is a true account of his experience. I invite you to prayerfully consider his message. To watch the video version of this podcast, go to preparingpeople.com. Okay, that's interesting. Episode 34 is Jason Mao, Preparing a People for the Ultimate Battle. February the 25th. Jason Mao wowed the people at his debut Preparing a People conference in Mesa, Arizona, and is now coming to Idaho on March 9th and 10th. Jason is a rising hero who has been a decorated Army paratrooper, narcotics detective, SWAT team leader, and bodyguard who draws his strength from the heroes in the Book of Mormon. As Jason often quotes one of his war chapters, Heroes Moroni, if all men had been and were and ever would be like unto Moroni, behold, the very powers of hell would have been shaken forever. Jason answers the question, why did God give us so many war chapters in the Book of Mormon? Episode 35, BYU Idaho Radio interviews Preparing a People about their Rexburg conference. Mike and Nancy get a taste of their own medicine and get interviewed by someone else. Matthew Christensen at BYU Idaho Radio about this weekend's exciting Preparing a People event. The James twins also discuss their impressions from Sunday's Idaho Regional Conference with President Russell M. Nelson and other great speakers. This is the last chance to get tickets to the hottest show in town. Wow. Episode 36, is that where we are? Elder Ray reveals how the devil is in the details of the anti-Mormons. May 18th. Ray Elder on his San Diego, California mission, bears powerful testimony of the restored gospel and of the prophet Joseph Smith. Ray reveals the bizarre true story of his LDS mission and his exposure to anti-Mormons and their brutal tactics. He tells of how Jesus Christ healed him from his bitterness and anger of being mistreated and misunderstood by his mission president, who sent him back to LDS church headquarters. Elder was vindicated and immediately sent back out on another mission where he helped several key people in Devil's Lake, North Dakota. He then explains how the Lord planned this strange series of events all along so he would become an expert to help others answer difficult church history questions raised by many anti-Mormons. I think they have some grammatical errors in here. Doesn't matter. I can still read it. Episode 37, Mike and Mike Simpson Get Personal, Part 1. May 18th. All right. Mike Simpson at the Theta Wellness in Sandy, Utah shares several deeply personal experiences with Mike James, including examples from his own healing path. The two Mikes also discuss the Isaiah work of Abram Gilead and the second half of this podcast now includes a few samples of people who have shared personal experiences after working with Mike Simpson. Mike will be speaking at both of our upcoming PAP events. Episode 38, Nancy's Tribute to Women and Mothers, May 21st. Nancy James gives tribute to some important women in her life. This is recorded on Mother's Day. Michael and Nancy also discuss ways you can help Preparing a People continue its mission. Episode 39, Mike and Mike Simpson Get More Personal, Part 2, May 30th. Part 2. In the second part interview with Mike Simpson, he shares more deeply personal experiences, including how his own wife was able to help him through hypnotherapy. Mike also discusses who actually benefits from his work and might not. Mike Simpson, owner of Theta Wellness in Sandy, Utah, will be speaking at both the upcoming Preparing a People events. Okay, so now they have two planned. One in Washington, Utah. One in Mesa, Arizona coming up. Episode 40, Mr. and Mrs. Little Bear. This was June the 14th. Oh, wow. Okay. Sean Little Bear and his new wife, Janelle, share their recent wedding with us. Sean also tells us about his exciting 8-week online course, Promises and Prophecies, Children of Lehi and Their Sacred Teachings, held on PAP Live Saturday mornings. This is a paid course available on preparingapeople.com. Okay, each class will be online live for approximately 90 minutes and 30 minutes of bonus questions, answers, period. What? A large portion of proceeds help support Sean. A full course is $80. I wonder how much those tickets were. Does anybody know how much the conference tickets were? Chad Daybell, this is episode 41. Chad Daybell quits his day job and reclaims liberty. June 26th. What in the world? This episode is loaded with author and publisher Chad Daybell's special announcements. Learn why his new book, Reclaiming Liberty, is going to be his last in the Days of Fury series. Chad also gives us a sneak preview of what to expect. Chad also discusses why he chose a flaming eyeball for Julie Rowe's brand new book, written by Eric Smith, Rising Above the Flames. Chad and Julie have an upcoming dual book signing in Sugar City this Friday at Central Elementary, 102 Park Avenue. Chad also reviews why he got the heck out of Utah and why he's going back briefly. Chad and the James twins also discuss 3 amazing Preparing a People special events this year he will be speaking at. Okay. Brigham City, St. George, Utah, Mesa, Arizona. And finally, they announced Chad's new weekly show, Glimpses Through the Veil, held on Preparing a People Live. Chad will feature half-hour interviews with other people who have had near-death experiences or have had visions of the future. He just might also share a few new dreams and visions of his own. Chad said, "The completion of this novel brings my fiction writing to a close for now. It's time to shift back my roles as an editor and publish for a while. I've received some great manuscripts from the authors that I want to publish, and releasing these titles will be my focus in the immediate future. Sean Little Bear's autobiography will be the next book we release, and there will be more to come." Did anybody know that Chad was doing shows weekly on Preparing a People website? They're called Glimpses Through the Veil. Did anybody know that? Episode 42, Reading Heaven's Time Clock with Marilyn Light. And this was July the 8th, 2018. Marilyn Light discusses with Michael and Nancy James her 2 new video courses on reading Heaven's time clock. Marilyn relates how she came to understand the patterns in the heavens and how they apply to each one of us in a unique way. She also clarifies how understanding God's perfect design and alignments in the planets and stars is very different from astrology, and how it became one of Marilyn's spiritual gifts to bless the lives of many who are learning about their missions, and how it helps us prepare for the coming of our Savior. Marilyn will be speaker at 2 upcoming Preparing People events in September and October. This podcast was updated on 7/14/18 with more details about Marilyn and the upcoming Preparing a People events. All right. Let's go to episode 43. We're almost halfway done. Almost. Episode 43. David Warwick shares his experience with longer fasting for powerful revelation and better health. And this was July the 16th. This is Melanie Gibb's husband. Is that him? Oh, okay. It was a picture of him. This is long. David Warwick drops by for a quick visit with Mike and Nancy. This was not a quick visit. That may have a long-term impact on our lives and others who benefited from his honest insights and humble introspection. David discusses the benefits of longer fasting and how it helped him to finally get the revelation he needed for his own journey. Many know David Warwick has been given a powerful spiritual gift of seeing the future in dreams and visions. David will be a featured speaker and guest at our upcoming Dreams and Visions workshop on September 15th, held in Brigham City, Utah. Oh, this gives some information. Our venue location is Maple Springs Event Center in Brigham City, across the street from the Crystal Inn, who's given our attendees a great package deal. $72 per hotel night if you mention you are coming to the Dreams and Visions workshop or mention Maple Springs when you book. Dreams and Visions have been a guiding force for humankind from the beginning of time, especially with how God's pattern has worked from ancient times to our times. The ability to receive dreams and visions is one of the most fundamental tenet of restored gospel, which opened this dispensation with Joseph Smith seeing God the Father and his son Jesus Christ. The Book of Mormon opens with a key dream to guide Lehi and Nephi. Heavenly hosts have always appeared to faithful disciples and prophets of Jesus Christ in visions to impart revealed truth, show future events, and share important commandments directly from God for the human family. Discernment is also an important gift to develop in order to avoid the deceits of the adversary, who can be masterful in replicating light and truth. She said all that just to have one of her little cult members do exactly this. Like, y'all all lack discernment if y'all allowed Lori and Chad to get away with what they did. Come on now. Ooh, tickets are $40. Episode 44? Okay, Down to Earth, Ray Elder. This would be August the 18th. Open that up. Okay. We catch up with Ray Elder, who will be a speaker in both St. George and Mesa. Ray talks about his inspiration, Mike Stroud, and other topics. Funny animation on the video version. Episode 45, A Conversation with Joshua, Part 2. Okay. This is part 2 of a conversation with Joshua. A popular LDS online forum published a series of posts under the title, A Personal Story by Joshua. Joshua has asked to remain anonymous, but was willing to answer questions that several forum members had. This podcast is entitled, A Conversation with Joshua, was agreed to by Michael and Nancy James with the complete promise his identity will remain unknown. We already read all this. Hold on. We already read all this. So this is just part 2. And 46, we're on episode 46, August the 30th. Lisa Stokes and Jenny Robbins are living the dreams and visions workshop. There's so much to scroll through. Okay. A new version, an interview with 2 women who were inspired to develop a course helping instruct others about dreams and visions and how important they are to us living in the last days prior to Christ's second coming. See what's behind the Dreams and Visions workshop being held September the 15th, 2018 in Brigham City, Utah. The workshop will also have special guests Chad Daybell, David Warwick, Marilyn Light, and Alexis Crandall. This workshop is hosted by Michael and Nancy James of Preparing a People. Some tickets were still available at the time of this podcast. Episode 47, Chad Daybell's Glimpses Through the Veil. Hector Sosa Jr. speaks at the ranch, and this was September the 11th. I would give more commentary, but just because there's like 99 of these, I really want to get these read. This podcast has a double feature with both Chad Daybell and Hector Sosa Jr. Glimpses Through the Veil is a most unique approach to learning about what life after life is like. Life after life is like. The nature of our human experience here as mortals and what happens when we die. This series is taught in 10 episodes by Chad Daybell and hosted by Michael James, who asked the questions we've all been dying to ask Chad. Signing up for this series will make it easy to listen to each episode anytime and listen as many times as you would like on any electric device through the Vimeo on demand. Hector Sosa Jr. spoke at Preparedness Dinner this summer near Provo, Utah, and this is his off-the-cuff remarks recorded by Michael and Nancy James, who were kindly invited to the dinner by Hector and Ray Elder, and who never misses an opportunity for a free dinner. Lord help them. Episode 48. Sherry Goodman is getting her goats on October the 11th. Meet Sherry Goodman, goat rancher extraordinaire. To contact Sherry or learn about goats or raising animals, email her. She's an expert at breeding low-maintenance goats with milking qualities. Many love to buy her breed because they are especially hardy and yield a lot of benefits. Episode 49, A Glimpse of Future Plans, Chad Daybell. Mike, Nancy, and Chad discuss several projects, including a brand new current event show launching in January. In this episode, see how Chad glimpses through the veil is progressing, along with Chad's experience at the Dreams and Visions workshop. Chad also briefly gives his take on the General Conference and what he will talk about at the St. George PAP special event. Also, a couple of other big surprises. Okay. Episode 50. Southern Utah Valiant Couples, Part 1. This was November the 12th. Part 1 of 2. Mike and Nancy James wrap up their report on the Preparing a People special event held in St. George, Utah. 6 of the volunteers, 3 married couples, speak out on their preparedness efforts in southern Utah. They also give a candid view on marriage, what they liked best about the recent event, and express their love for Mike Stroud, who played a role in all of their lives. Some of these podcasts were actually on video on the website. Episode 51, Southern Utah Valley and Part 2. So I'm sure the description is very similar to what we just read. Hold on. Yeah, kind of the same thing. Okay. Episode 52, Preparing a People Event, Mesa, Arizona. Mike Stroud, Accessing the Fullness of Atonement of Jesus Christ. This was November the 20th.